That's something you don't get to see every day, Arnie, is it?
Oh, that's good.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Willow grub. It's the willow grub. Notice the sort of lemony coloured body. A lot of variations on that. Sometimes you find them greener. And the hand in front of a crake. Day ahead. Willow grubs are small caterpillars that fall from these blisters on the willow trees. They float upon the water, as you can see here. Trout often cover a lot of water cruising around the pool in search of these caterpillars. Okay, we're going to tie a simple willow grub. This willow grub sinks and very easy to tie. We're going to use ultra chenille that I've coloured yellow with felt pen. You can experiment with colours. We've burnt the end as you've seen. We're going to use black monocord and start with a strong wire hook, putting a few turns just at the front. Trim off. Now we're going to tie that ultra chenille in just to a length that suits you, quite short. This is a size 16 we're tying here. Trim the end off, and now we're going to use the black monocord to form the little black head that's on the caterpillar, the willow grub. And we're going to knot off however you choose, and there we are, finished. Very simple fly. Of course, the super glue at the front to secure the fly and let it dry. Here's another one. We're going to use a light wire curved hook this time. This is a floating willow grub. I'm using white cord, this time 6-bar, quite fine. A few turns on to secure, and we're going to wrap around the curve of the hook with the white cord. We want to try to take away the sheen of the fly on this particular pattern. Once you've done that, we're going to select a little bit of ultra chenille that I've coloured, and we're going to burn it to form the little body of the caterpillar. Again, sit in on top, tie it in. As always, just judge the length you want. Trim off, a few turns to secure. Now what we're going to do is place a small dollop of super glue along the cord, along the hook, and then hold the ultra chenille down. That just glues it down and sort of forms a curved body that we're looking for on this fly. While we're doing that, a few more turns to secure. Now I'm going to get some white polypropylene floating yarn. Try to keep this fairly sparse, you don't want it too bulky. Tie that in on top, a few turns to secure. Importantly, just a little bit of super glue here to secure. Now we're going to fold it over, tie it over. Now we're going to knot off however you choose. Trim the cord. Now in one cut we're going to trim the floating yarn, splay it out a little bit, and here's the floating version. This makes a great indicator and a dry fly version of the willow grub. Here's a typical Willow Grub rig. You'll see on the left side the dry fly pattern, a short dropper and the sinking grub. Here it is in action. You'll see the fish took the grub in this case. You got with the short dropper and the dry fly. Here we are casting out. You can see you cast out, give it a small twitch to attract the fish. Willow grubs are not only confined to slow flow, they often feed in fast moving rivers. In this case, the dry fly is the best way to approach these fish. You'll see here this fish is combing a lot of ground and an accurate cast can take the fish. To tie the dry fly, we're going to use a light wire, straight wire hook. We're going to use light monocord white coloration. Start off as always by covering the hook shank with a few turns to secure. Now what we're going to use is a yellow or chartreuse floating foam and cut a strip to the size that suits you. About 2mm square is what I find works very well. Sit that in on top, a few turns to secure, trim off, a few turns to secure again. Now what we're going to do is pull off some monocord and slowly go under and wind your monocord to the back of the hook. Now we're going to give the segmented look. Another one, not too many of these because you want to keep the volume in the foam for the flotation. Now trim off the end to suit, and that gives a very realistic high buoyancy body. And on this pattern I like to tie just a brown hackle. Again, it doesn't have to be an exceptionally long or lush hackle, but any shade of brown I find very effective. Again, using hackle pliers and several turns round to form the hackle as you would for any other dry. A few turns to secure the end of the hackle, trim it off nice and carefully. Now flare the hackles back and a few turns to wind the head of the fly. Once you've done that, just prepare to knot off. I use the whip finish, you can choose whatever you like. Trim off. A little bit of felt pen on the white cord to form that black head of the willow grub, and you're finished. Importantly, super glue just to secure the fly. And here we go, the willow grub dry fly. This is a great pattern.